Hey, everybody. Shabby Nobody Else's Auto. 7 o'clock Sunday evening. Time for some more Sunday night shenanigans. Looks like we've got a great crowd on YouTube already, rocking and rolling and ready to go tonight. Let's check Facebook over here. Looks like we are connected on Facebook as well. As always, we are live on two formats, both Facebook and YouTube. As you see me glancing back and forth between comments, that's what I'm doing. Let's see who's all here already. Leo and Travis are already here and ready to go. Pete's on with us. Randy at the Nut Farm is here. Bill Wagaman is on. Randy Weininger made it. Ryan and Amy are here. Bill Disk is on. I hope I didn't miss anybody. There's so many comments on there. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I apologize if I did. Things get a little bit hectic on my end from time to time, so I apologize when that does happen. So anyway, looks like everything is up and functioning in theory. We'll see how that hangs in there. Charles is here with us. Jim's on. Alex. Alan from Arizona. Yes, Leo, your check was here when I got back from Oklahoma. So we are good. I'll get everything boxed up tomorrow. Speaking of which, Ken from Michigan. Scott's here. Last week's shipments, the stuff that was paid for immediately by Monday morning got shipped, but that was about it. Since I was leaving for Oklahoma, I got the first batch of stuff that was paid for right away. That it did get shipped. The raffle prizes have not gone yet, and anything that came later in the week has not gone. So I'll have a whole bunch of stuff going out tomorrow and Tuesday. So just so you guys know what's going on, I basically just ran out of time last week trying to get going. So anyway, it's been kind of a crazy week going to Oklahoma this week, but we'll get into that here shortly. As always, a little bit of housekeeping before we get too far in. Billy Idle from the ACD company is on with us. Glad Eric's on with us. Hanging out. Saw you guys last week. We're going to get to that here real shortly as well. David W. is here. Kenny Peterson, Kevin L., Dennis Chapman. Kevin missed Tulsa this time. Had a procedure. Oh, I hope everything's going well, Kevin, since you're laid up. But Pete and I were talking about you, wondering if you were going to make it or not. But anyway, a little bit of housekeeping before we get too deep into things. Johnny Z is here. Throw a share out there. Tell your friends we're on. Let them know we are ready to go tonight if they want to jump on and hang out with us tonight. Autocorrect. Please double check your autocorrect before you hit send. Check your comment before you hit send. Make sure autocorrect has not changed your comment into something that doesn't make any sense. Because if I can't comprehend it, things get rolling pretty quick. I'll just have to skip it and keep going. Scott from Texas is on Facebook with us. As always, things do get rolling through here pretty quickly at times. I do try to catch most of the comments, but I do miss some from time to time. Along with that, trolls, if we get a troll on here, I do ignore them. They want my attention because they can't get enough from mommy, so they're in here trying to screw up our chat. I ignore them. You guys do an outstanding job of making sure that they know that they are not welcome here and reporting them and running them off. So I appreciate that. If you are on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page on Facebook. So you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel to comment, participate in the auctions, etc., etc. If you just want to hang out and watch, you're perfectly good on the Nobody Show Facebook page, but I cannot see those comments. So please bear that in mind. As always, Super Chats are awesome. Sometimes you guys throw Super Chats up there to help support things as well. So, but anyway, I always want to get that out of the way so we all know where we're at. Chris Ortiz is here. But anyway, we've got a lot of fun tonight planned. Obviously, I was in Oklahoma at the end of the week. We've got a full evening planned. The auction pile is massive. You know, we typically do about 20 pieces a night. There's over 60 pieces, almost 70 pieces piled up right here. So we've got an awesome selection for the auction tonight. And we've got a little bit of everything. Cans, toys, hubcaps, literature, license plates, a few soda pop items. Just, of course, emblems and badges. Just, I had to lean on the desk to step over the pile to get back to my chair. So looking forward to that tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dad's on with us. The magazine tonight, we're going to shake things up. Yeah, we're going to throw a few extra raffle drawings in there too, Leo, for sure. The magazine tonight, we're going to shake things up with that a little bit. There's going to be a twist to the magazine tonight, so you're going to want to hang out and catch that out. It's pretty cool as well. Joe's here. None of my 59 Chevys that I have are Impalas in stock right now, so I don't have anything here that is any 59 Impalas at all right now. Justin's on with us. But anyway, like we talked about last week, I was going to Oklahoma to Auburn Cord Duesenberg and then, of course, to Mecum for Mecum's Tulsa event. Did not get by Gasoline Alley Classics to see Michael. I texted him, and just the schedules never worked out, so we did not get by there to see him. But I did get to Auburn Cord Duesenberg, and we did obviously do Mecum. Some of you guys may have caught the video from we did with Jim Wicks on the Falcon Ranchero. Bud's here. We had 2 videos for Friday night. Could not get them to upload thanks to the hotel's Wi-Fi. So I've got another one where Jim spent a little time with us on it, just wandering around checking out a bunch of other cool cars. Well, 62 Cadillac convertible top fit a 63 Impala. I doubt it. I don't know for sure, but I doubt it. Tony's here with us. So, but anyway, we did get the Ranchero video up, and he talked about some of the uniqueness of the 66 Ranchero being the last Falcon-based Ranchero. But there again, it's always fun talking to Jim Wicks about Ford stuff, is he's just an encyclopedia of it. So we will get the other Mecum video up with Jim probably tomorrow night and get rolling with it. But had a good time there, as always. Got to see Jim, some other friends. Pete was there, got to hang out with Pete and part of his tribe. He brought his wife and a few of his kids. So we hung out with them a little bit. We did the live with Pete. If you guys may have caught some of that as well while we were on live Friday afternoon from Mecum Tulsa. So market looked it is definitely adjusting back to reality, I would say. Ranchero was cool, says Randy. Yep, it was a neat little car, and it did sell. Okay, perfect. Appreciate that, Eric. I'll talk to Doug this week about that rod. So anyway, reality is setting back in. The good cars obviously brought good money. A lot of the average cars were back down to some of what I'd say was on the strong side, but not crazy. But had a good auction. I don't know what their sell-through was yet. I've got to get to work on that for the article for Old Cars Weekly. Made notes on several different cars, and once Mecum posts all the results, and I'll get that article put together for Old Cars Weekly and get all that stuff wrapped up. But I think they had a fairly strong sale. They did have – it was originally scheduled for 3 days. They did cut it back to 2, but they did fill both of those days very solidly with cars. So I would assume that's probably what they planned on. 3 days we would have been thin, but they had 2 full days for sure. The Cord Speedster that we did the video on a while back did sell. I was surprised he sold it. He took a lot less than what I expected that he would, but it did sell. So if you missed the video on the Cord Speedster, that's a pretty unique car as well, and it is on its way to a new home. Well, hello, Gray Kitty. Can I help you? Yes? What? 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 Nope. They actually left intentionally before the Cadillac went across the block. So big jobs here. Hey, everybody's saying hi to you. Yeah, they want to say hi to you. You gonna come say hi? Hey, dum-dum. All they see is your tail. You don't care, do you? Hey, come here. What? Turn around. Meow. Meow. Actually, I looked, Pete, and it did sell. They must have got it on Bid Goes On, but because it is marked sold now. So they must have had an offer on it after it went across the block, but they do have it marked as sold. So, all right, we're going to get back to the show. Is that okay with you? Hey, do you mind if we get back to the show? Pete says, thank goodness. Yeah. Meow. Meow. All right. Do you mind if we get back to the program at hand here? Hey. I'm talking to you. Hey, do you mind if we get back to things here, or are you going to stay in the way the whole time? How about you hop down? Yes. How about you hop down because you're kind of in the way. You're kind of in the way. Do you notice that you're? Hey, look right here. Hey, turn around. Over here. Yes, you. All right, move. Why don't you get down? Well, that'd be a good idea for you to get down. We need to get back to the show. Something else that I did notice at Mecum this year that kind of shocked me. Thanks, Eric. Hit the thumbs up for the videos. Give it a like. Appreciate that. Something I did see that, yeah, you just knocked the auction pad and everything else off, dum-dum. Yes, you. How about you hop down? You're going to knock the magazine off now. Yes, get down. No, you're on the keyboard. You are not supposed to be on the keyboard. Yes, see, that's your guilty look. Is that your guilty look? Yes, that's your guilty look. All right, how about you hop down? I got to get her over the stack. Yes, I know you don't like it because you're making a mess. All right, she's out of the way for now. One thing I did come across at Mecum that kind of shocked me though. We're all used to seeing clones on, 69 Camaros and 70 Chevelles, Mustangs that are turned into Bosses and Machs and GTs, Chevelles that are turned into Super Sports, Camaros that are turned into RSs, SS, Z28s, all that. No, don't have any Gray Kitty merchandise. Nope, nothing on that right now. You. Yes, you. I have to go get the auction pad before we start now. She knocked it on the ground. We're all used to seeing that. Satellites turned into Roadrunners, Challengers turned into RTs. Very common. We're all used to it. We know what happens. And, some people are honest about it. Some cars can be documented. Some cars can't. All that stuff. We're familiar with it. We're used to seeing it. What I'm not used to seeing and what kind of surprised me this weekend is seeing it done to 90s and 2000s era cars. That kind of surprised me. That kind of caught me off guard. Saw 3 examples of it just this weekend alone on Firebirds and Camaros. Obviously, you guys know I'm big into WS6 cars. And there was a straight Trans Am that was, I remember how you got to read the fine print because the car looked like a WS6. It had a Ram Air hood. It had a Ram Air airbox. You walk up in front of the car, open the hood. It looked like a WS6 Ram Air car. You've got to read the fine print. It was like upgraded with special equipment or upgraded to optional equipment. Mike's here. So Eloy's on. So that kind of shocked me. Saw it on another Trans Am convertible, a regular Trans Am that was cloned into a Firehawk, had a Firehawk hood and decals on it. Saw it on a Camaro, 95 Camaro convertible turned into an 02 35th anniversary SS. They put an 02 front clip on it. They put SS wheels on it. They put the stripe package on it. These are literally, the Camaro was a 95, I think, and the Trans Ams were 01s or 02s, and they were cloning all this stuff. So, yeah, that's right, Bill. They just must be getting there, and the popularity is definitely there. They are getting more and more popular all the time. But I was kind of surprised to see that. But there again, you got to be careful. And if you wanted a car to drive and you buy it right, that's fine. Like the 95 Camaro, that car hammered at like $13,000. So it was, I think that's what it was. I'd have to look again. It was 14 something out the door. If you want something to drive, enjoy, have fun, you can't go wrong for $15,000 on something like that. But if you're paying up for something real, because the Trans Ams both brought over 20. Numero uno's here. Big job. Look at the Yenko that brought more money a few years back. Yeah, it's just, you don't expect to see it on cars from the 90s and 2000s, but apparently it's here because I saw 3 of them at one event. And they weren't advertised as being a WS6 car or an anniversary car, but they sure looked it until you walked up and actually started reading all the lines of information. You wouldn't have known it on a few of these. So definitely goes back to buyer beware on all of this stuff, and be very careful about what you're looking at. Even if it's a 20-year-old car anymore, you got to be paying attention as to whether or not it's real. Now, on a WS6 Trans Am, it is very obvious. It is listed in the option code. If you open the door, there's a sticker with all your option codes. If it's a true WS6, it will say WS6 on the option code. So the car that was there that had the upgraded additional equipment, I looked at it. It did not have a door sticker on it. So it, you got to be, there again, it's commonplace on 69 Camaros. It's commonplace on 70 Challengers. It's commonplace on 68 Satellites. Just was kind of shocked to see that happening on cars from the 90s and the 2000s era. And I'm sure there's people probably doing it with Mustangs out of the same era as well. I just happened to run across 3 F bodies at Mecum Tulsa this week that were clones. But overall, it was a good sale. It was fun. We didn't buy anything. We just hung out, saw some friends. Obviously got to hang out with Wicks. And of course, Doug and Adam Prey were at the auction as well. Hung out with them a little bit. So it's always a good time. That's one of the big things about those auctions. You see a ton of cool cars. You get to hang out with a lot of friends, see people and you always learn something. So I got a little bit of a shock lesson this time, but you always learn something. And got good notes, so I'll be getting the article put together for Old Cars Weekly. Now, obviously, like you guys all know, also went to see our good friend Doug and good friends Doug and Adam Prey at the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company. We got Eric on from ACD right now with us. And always love going there. As you guys know, it is an amazing place. There is an insane amount of history in that building. When Doug's dad, Glenn, bought the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Company on a borrowed $20 bill in 1960 and moved the entire company to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and then started building the second generation Cord and then the second generation Auburn Speedsters in the 70s. So we've got some cool stuff to share with you. As always, when I go down there, I always do a little shopping. So we've got some exciting things coming up in the auctions from Auburn Cord Duesenberg. I've only got a couple pieces in tonight. I didn't have time to sort through much of the boxes. But we've definitely got some cool stuff coming. We'll have a few things tonight, and we'll have a few more things that we'll kind of work in as we go over the next several weeks. But it's always cool. I love going there. Obviously, we will have some new videos coming up from there. We've got an update on the Duesenberg, the $1 million barn find that Doug found last fall, plus some other amazing cars. Actually, his dad, Glenn, his last personal boat tail speedster is back in the shop. They do not own it anymore, but it was back in the shop for some service work. We did a video on that car, as well as the Duesenberg update. We did a video on a couple of open cords, one that is being completely and fully restored with a target date of being back at Auburn this Labor Day weekend for its unveiling, as well as, and this was a really cool video that we were able to do. They actually, and you guys that have been hanging out with us for a while, you know that we've done a lot of videos there. We've done a lot of videos on how the cords work, being front wheel drive with a manually shifted 4-speed transmission. We've actually had a video with the transmission on the stand. We did, as part of that video, we had a driving car with the front cover that covers the transmission off. And we actually saw the actuator move. What was cool about this one, they had it was a 37, it was supercharged. So it was a 37 812 Cabriolet supercharged, and all the front sheet metal, with the exception of the hood, was off. The fenders were off. The transmission cover was off. The grill was off. So it was so cool because we were actually able to see how that engine and transmission sits in that front wheel drive configuration in that car. Like I said, that was so technologically advanced for the late 30s, light years ahead of anything else. Unibody construction with a subframe, front wheel drive, all the things that are so commonplace in today's world. And, this car had it 90 years ago. This car was developed 90 years ago, and it has all of these features that have become commonplace in today's world. So, yeah, but and he did a great job. Zach did a great job shooting all that stuff for us. So appreciate that as well. So we'll definitely be getting those up. Nope, we haven't got to the promo yet, Jeff. We're getting there here shortly. So excited about that. And I actually was able to add a couple of cool pieces to my personal collection. So we're going to be showing you those coming up on some Toy Tuesdays and things like that. In fact, there's this one, and speaking of history, Doug actually found an original piece of, I'm going to call it artwork, because that's what it is. We got a whole video on this piece of artwork that Doug actually found. If you guys caught the archives video last week, as Doug's been sorting through all the paperwork, sorting through the archives, he found a really cool piece of artwork, and I think it was worthy of its own video. So we literally did a video on this super cool piece of artwork that Doug found. And yes, it is definitely car related, with a really interesting twist to it. Obviously, it's a one-off original, so it's a pretty cool piece. Yeah, Pete, I gave Pete a sneak peek when we were at Mecum, so he saw a clip of it and thought it was, so he knows how cool it looks. So that video will be coming as well. Oh, and there's this Glenn Prey's last personal speedster. That video, they had another car that was the sister car to that they are finishing right now. So we've got a video on that. So we've actually got the Glenn Prey Speedster, which was an actual regular Auburn that they put a speedster body on, and they had two cars that they were doing at that point. And this was 35 years ago. Glenn's car, and then they had another car that wasn't finished. They are finishing that second car right now. So they actually had the car that Glenn finished for himself that he was driving on a regular basis in the shop, as well as the sister car to that was an actual original Auburn that they just put a speedster body on. But fenders, chassis, front clip, drivetrain, all original Auburn. They just changed the back half of the car from a regular car to a speedster. So it's kind of cool because we've got the done car that was Glenn's last car for himself, as well as the sister car to that they are in the process right now of finishing. So two separate videos, two contrasting views of the same configuration of Auburn Speedster. So pretty neat deal. So we've got and as always, we've got a ton of cool stuff up. Doug, is great for sharing his knowledge. And, those cars, that is such a niche. It is such a special area. Auburn's, Cords, and Duesenbergs, they didn't survive the Depression. They were gone by the late 30s, until Doug's dad, Glenn, bought the company and brought the cars back in the 60s and 70s. But at the time, some of the premier cars in the world, Duesenberg was the biggest, the best, the fastest, the beautiful. The design on the Cord was off the rails, so light years ahead of its time. It was crazy. The Auburns were so elegant. It's amazing that, to be able to have Doug share that knowledge with us. And then with Adam taking over the company and taking it into the future with the next generation of Prey, it's just so cool to see all that happening. And, I'm excited, and we're lucky that those guys take the time and share all that information with us. So now I'm doing okay so far, number one. So as always, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up from there in content. And I know you guys are going to like all of that stuff, because there again, where else do you get to see that stuff? Where else do we get to learn about it? Where else do you get to actually see a Cord with the sheet metal off, to see how this front wheel drive system was designed right at 90 years ago? These cars went into production in 36. So this stuff was under development in 34, 35, 90 years ago. 90 years ago, this stuff was developed, and it is the same configuration we see on modern cars. Unibody construction with a subframe, front wheel drive, crazy. So anyway, something else to share with you real quick in open chat before we get into the promo. If you guys do not have it yet, what you will be coming, if you guys are subscribers to Old Cars Weekly, the July 1, 2023 issue will be coming out very soon. Kind of a cool article in here. If you guys followed the stuff from the F&E Collector Auto Auction last year, when, the auction that my partner Chris Froester and I put together every year, if you stayed up with what we were doing when we were listing all that stuff, there was a purple Charger that we sold last year at the auction. And there it is in the upcoming issue of Old Cars Weekly. So kind of an interesting You know, interesting to see that thing in there. Yes, and yes, I did write the article. It is my article. Yeah, because obviously you guys do know I do a lot of work with Old Cars Weekly. So always kind of cool to see that come together. Our good friend Jim Wicks actually did buy this car. He actually has been taking it to some car shows. He cleaned it up a little bit. Brian Dispatch made it. And he's taken it to some Mopar shows. Took it to a big car show in Springfield, Missouri a few weeks ago. So just having a ton of fun with that car in the current condition, or its current original condition. All he did was clean it up, did a little bit of detailing, and just been having a ton of fun with it. So super cool car there. And that article will be out in your new issue of Old Cars Weekly. They'll be coming out in your mailbox here shortly. Once again, not only did I not ever expect I would be doing this with you guys, I never expected to be writing for magazine, but I guess I am. Anyway, new inventory. We kind of moved new inventory into open chat real quick. I did not have time to haul anything in last week. But I did buy some more stuff, which means we're going to have a lot more cool stuff coming up. And everything I bought 3 out of 1 deal last week, and it was all cool. In fact, including one that has been buried in the back corner of the building it's in right now. It's been in there for over 20 years. It was in another building for about 10 years before that, and in another building for another 10 or 20 years before that. So this thing's been stashed for at least 40 years. It's super cool. It's totally complete. Been inside for decades. So I can't wait to get that video shot, get that thing drug out, and share that with you. Oh, and it's a station wagon. On top of that, if it gets any cooler, it's actually a station wagon that has been buried in a building for decades. Lots of comments popping up. Let's get caught up here real quick. ACD meet on Labor Day in Auburn, Indiana. And they are planning on taking several cars this year. Hopefully the Duesenberg, the Cord, which we did a video on, that is in process right now. That car is planning on being there, as well as a few others. So, Bill Disc, love the story about the old Dodge truck that was on the cover a few issues back. Oh yeah, I did remember that, like that 69 or 70 D100. Yeah, that was a good looking truck. Officially licensed nobody's handkerchiefs. Yeah, there you go. Some of the new cars you forgot about. What happened to Kevin L? Kevin L's on here with us. Said he's just been laid up. So anyway, let's move on to the promo model. Let's catch some badges and emblems. I'll tell you what, we've been forgetting all about these badges. Oh, look at that. There we go. In fact, we better get everybody caught up with a couple of them. We'll just get a whole bunch of them in right now as we get ready to roll into tonight's promo model. And this is a pretty neat one. This is actually a really cool one. This is a friction, no interior in it. No, excuse me, it's not a friction. I thought it was a friction. Last week was a friction. On the misty green with torsion air ride 1958 Plymouth. I dig this one. This one's really cool. Beautiful car. It does have some slight warpage to it, but of course it's a late 50s era promo. Most of them did. Obviously the misty green, a very attractive color. This one it is two-tone with a white top, as well as it does actually have the stainless, what would be stainless painted silver on the side of it. On the back, the bumper and the taillights all still intact on this promo. And that's right there, you can get a good look at those fins because they are big. On the other side, kind of the same thing. This does have all the original tires and hubcaps on it. The front is intact. The corners aren't chipped off the bumper or anything. Pretty good looking car. Obviously, we can see some warpage here. We see above this headlight where it's got slight warpage. Quite a bit of warpage above this headlight. But there again, we see that with most of these late 50s early promos. So we know that that does happen. Now, inside this promo, it is empty. You guys can see down in there, it is just an empty shell. It does have full windows on both sides, though. But it is empty inside. No interior on this promo. I don't know if you guys can get a look in there on the camera or not. But what was really cool about this, and we've seen this on a few other Mopar promos, The last one we had was like a 64 that had it. Exclusive torsion air ride. Yep. It's got the torsion bar suspension, and it actually shows you how it works. And it also says on the bottom of this, use of trademarks and car designs authorized by Chrysler Corporation, right here on the bottom of it. Torsion air ride and authorized by Chrysler right here. And actually, you can see right through the back window right there when you look straight up through the rear tire wells. So a very attractive promo. Good condition other than a little bit of warpage. That's right, Pete. They spent too much money on suspension parts, couldn't afford to do an interior on this one. But it is a great piece. Cool color. Definitely 50s on that light green. Pretty good condition other than some warpage. And you look at the tail end of this thing, and it is definitely late 50s with those fins. So there she is tonight. The 1958 Plymouth two-door hardtop in misty green with torsion air ride suspension. There's an Auburn badge. Bill calls it seafoam. Yep. And that's what I would call it too. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the last several weeks when we do the promo, I actually try to look up the color. I Google the color chips for that particular car for that year and try to come up with the actual color just because it sounds neater, I guess. Gary's here. Just caught the Auburn badge, though. Perfect. Well, let's give you a Hudson badge, too, Gary. How about that? As we get ready to move into the badge section of tonight, as always, starting off with a pre-war badge, then working our way to a post-war badge. This badge is a very unique piece from a very unique company. Started by three brothers and began in the automotive field in 1916 by offering the truck builder, which consisted of a frame, cab, body, and internal gear drive, by which a passenger car could be converted to a truck. So kind of an interesting. Factory was built in Indiana. And soon after the First World War, they were building their own complete trucks, starting with a 1.5 ton in 1919. They were assembled using mostly standard components, particularly Dodge components, which attracted the interest of Dodge in increasing the scope of their commercial vehicle business. So, yeah, I'll try to get a hold of Craig sometime this week, Bill. But obviously last week was bananas with going to Oklahoma. So, by 1922, the Dodge brothers had acquired a majority of the interest in this company and arranged for Dodge brothers trucks to be manufactured under their name, but using Dodge engines. To cope with increased production, they opened a new plants in Stockton, California, and Toronto, Canada. Graham Brothers trucks were typical medium-sized vehicles. By 1928, the range included a 1/4 ton, a 1/2 ton, and 2.5 tons with 6-cylinder engines. By 1928, Dodge had taken over Graham Brothers completely, and Graham Brothers became a division of Chrysler Corporation, which owned Dodge Brothers. The Graham name was replaced by Dodge Brothers from 29, and by 1936, it went strictly to Dodge. So, the Graham Brothers trucks. Now, the Graham Brothers, as we noticed a couple weeks ago when we did another badge for Graham Page, the Graham Brothers continued their interests in the automotive market by buying the Page Detroit Motor Car Company and continued that car as the Graham Page. Now, if you'll remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about that particular piece of history. I thought I still had that piece up here, but I don't know where it went. Maybe I don't have it. Oh, here it is. A few weeks ago, we talked about the Graham Page with the brothers three right here. Joseph, Robert, and Ray. So kind of an interesting tidbit of information, but that's why we do this. Obviously, Graham Brothers started building trucks powered by Dodge. Dodge caught Dodge's attention. Dodge eventually bought them out, and they became Dodge Trucks and part of Chrysler Corporation and then went out on their own with the Graham Page Corporation and came up with this. So kind of an interesting tidbit, but hey, that's why we do this. We do it to learn. This is a basic round button. It does have the flat washer area on the back where it was pressed on. This is kind of a stamped piece. I don't believe this piece was ever enameled particularly. There's no signs of any enameling on this one, and Graham Brothers did make these without enameling, just as a stamped piece of metal. Kevin made it back in time for the promo. His phone died. This one is 2 1/8 in diameter. It is a true circle, 2 1/8 in diameter on the Graham Brothers truck. This particular badge was 1926 to 1928 era. One button for the hillbilly over. Yeah, and it kind of is actually. This thing here, it's big enough to kind of, it actually does kind of look like a giant button the way this one is actually made. So the 1926 to 1928 Graham Brothers truck badge, soon to become Dodge at that point. The next badge we're going to look at, we're going to jump up to post-war. As always, we're going to jump up about 40 years into the 60s to a badge that most of us are probably very familiar with. Obviously, there are many, many debates about what was the first muscle car, but we sure know what kicked it off in the 60s, and that was the GTO. This 1965 to 1968 GTO badge typically was mounted on the rocker panels or down low on the 65 through 68 models. Obviously, this is a huge debate. Was it the Buick Century in 36 or 37? Was it the Rocket 88 and 49? What was technically the first muscle car? The one that really did in the 60s that really kicked off the craze was the GTO in 64. Obviously, John DeLorean snuck it around corporate brass by making the 389 cubic inch engine optional out of the big car in the A-body platform. And by the time GM Brass realized what had happened, it was too late. They had already sold so many of them, it was really kind of hard to stop it. This badge came out in 65, used up through 68. Kind of a triangle, 6.5 liter. Obviously starting out as a 389, going to a 467. But 6.5 liter, using liters at that point. Obviously everything is done in liters today. Back then, everything was done in cubic inches. This was a reference to European styling, European class. Obviously, GTO Gran Turismo Omologato, basically stolen from Ferrari with the Ferrari GTO. And therefore, 6.5 liter also made it sound a little more European as well. This is this is not a totally flat badge. It is kind of angled. It is a pot metal piece that was stud mount. This is a used original. It does have some fading in it. It is 8 inches long and about 1.25 inches tall. So this was 8 inches, 1.25 inches. This ribbed area behind the GTO was red. And then down here in the checkered flag in the 6.5 liter, all would have been black. That's right, diamond shaped because exotic and valuable. That's right. Obviously, the GTO is still extremely popular even to this day, and definitely one of the most well-known and most desirable muscle cars out there. Super cool piece. Like I said, this isn't the best emblem, but it is an original. This actually did come out on a GTO in the mid to late 60s. And like we talked about, a lot of these badges and emblems in my collection aren't necessarily perfect, but for my collection on this stuff, I would rather have used originals that have a story to tell, that they were there. I mean, I'm sure this thing was responsible for more than a few smoky burnouts while this was on a car, things like that. So being able to actually hold these in your hands instead of just order one out of the catalog and say, hey, look what I got, that's not that exciting versus holding an original off of a car that was there, did that, and was there. So that's what we've got for tonight. The 1926 to 1928 Graham Brothers, which was soon at that time just about ready to become Dodge Brothers trucks, and the 1965 to 1968 Pontiac GTO badge. Let's catch a little bit of story time here real quick, and then we're going to get into some auctions and the raffle and the new twist on a magazine this week. Something totally different on the magazine. Never done anything like this before. But for story time, as I get over here and pick it all back up, since that was part of what Gray Kitty, part of the pile that Gray Kitty knocked off. So bear with me here a second. I got to get over the pile. No, it's not. We are still going to be car related, Big Job. Yeah, we're not going to go quite that far out to go to Better Homes and Gardens. It's still car related, but I think you're going to have, I think you guys are going to dig it. Anyway, let's get into story time. Show us the pile. I'd have to kind of angle the webcam over to the stack. It'd be kind of tough. I could do that, but then I'd have to reset the cameras when I got back here to make sure that everything stayed in focus for what you guys are seeing. So, story time tonight, not as always, but as we see a lot of, we've got another Buick tonight. Climbing in and out of the window, that might be a possibility. Yep. And we didn't do strictly Buicks back then. We did an awful lot of Buicks, so we will have a lot of Buicks in story time coming up. But we got a lot of other cool stuff that we definitely will mix in. But tonight's car is kind of a neat car, and I do kind of remember when we found this one, even though it was back in the early 80s, I think. It was only 30 or 40 miles from here, sitting in an old farmstead behind an old building on this 1952 Buick Super Convertible. Kind of a neat car. Would have been very pretty in its day. It was kind of a pale yellow with, I believe, a red interior. Michael Gogola's on with us on Facebook from New Jersey. This 52 Super Convertible, and there again, it was mostly intact when we found it, but there again, it was in the 80s. It was a rough car. It had been sitting for years. So it was actually at the time kind of considered a parts car. So actually, I think Dad did part it out for a while, sold some pieces off of it. And then, of course, the convertible thing kind of switched around and really started gaining steam. And this car actually ended up going overseas. I don't remember exactly where it went, but it went probably to one of the Scandinavian countries, because I know a lot of these Buicks and Cadillacs end up in Sweden and Denmark. Billy Bowman's here with us. And, kind of a unique car. Like I said, I do remember it, and restored, it would have been very beautiful. Super being the mid-sized car, not the big Roadmaster, and not the smaller, the Special with the smaller engines, basically similar body size to the Special, but similar body to the Roadmaster, but the smaller engine. So would have been a cool car. I'm sure it got restored. I don't remember exactly where it ended up. This car went overseas probably in the early to mid 90s. Mid-90s, I think, is when this car went overseas. So it's been gone for almost 30 years. But there again, these old convertibles were super cool cars. And it was an interesting one that we drug in over the years. And, hey, that's the whole point of story time. You guys keep asking to see these old pictures of things we found over the decades. So I guess we'll keep sliding them in. Everybody still wants to see them. So that's what we've got for tonight. The 1952 Buick Model 56C Super Convertible that has a new home somewhere over in Europe, I believe. So, all right, Auburn badge. Let's see. I guess we're ready for auctions, but in the meantime, I guess we can do a bonus drawing. Why not? Let's do a bonus drawing. And actually, bonus drawing from the viewer box. Glad you guys like it. Glad you guys like the story. And, we've had just tremendous response to doing story time. So I guess we'll keep doing it. You guys keep digging it. You keep liking it. I guess we'll keep doing it. But from the viewer box, we had, some of you viewers, we've got the stuff that Zach sent us. I don't know for sure what he wanted to do with this. But I do know that the viewer box from a couple weeks ago, a couple of those pieces wanted to go into the raffles. We're going to give one of those away as a bonus drawing right now. So I do have this week's names in. We will go through those names here after a while to make sure you got in. But the bonus drawing right now is going to be the Quebec keychain sent in by our viewer from the last viewer box. He wanted to include this in the raffle. I thought it would make a great bonus drawing piece. Pete, did Dad only deal in Buicks? Primarily Buicks and Pontiacs. but we had a little bit of anything go through. You know, it depends on what we found, but primarily Buicks and Pontiacs. But there was, you know, Fords, Chryslers, Chevys, whatever we found would pop up. You know, if it was a decent buy, he would grab it. But it was primarily Buick and Pontiac. So first bonus drawing for tonight is going to be the Quebec keychain straight from the viewer box, because the viewer did say he wanted to include this in the raffle. So let's give it away. The direct connection sign is not part of the auction. That is one of my pieces. I just wanted to fill the hole because it was blank. So, all right, bonus drawing, bonus drawing, bonus drawing. I think I got one. Am I down to one? I'm down to one. Tony. Tony is getting the Quebec keychain straight from the viewer box. So huge shout out to the viewer for including that and wanting to add that into the raffle. All right. Now, obviously, just like when we do these bonus drawings, that does not affect you in the main drawing. You go right back in. So we'll catch another bonus raffle a little bit later this evening. We got Tony's name on this piece. We'll put it over here so we keep it ready with the stuff we get out of the auction so it can ship with Tony's next box. All right, who's ready for some auction time? As always, whole dollar increment bids, please. I will hold up an item. We will look at it. We will examine it. We will talk about it. We will point out any flaws or defects in it. I will give you some dimensions on it. Travis and Leo are loading right now. Visor for a 50 Ford Coupe. I do not have anything specifically for that. The only outside visor I've got right now, I think, is an Oldsmobile one. So we will look at that particular item. We will talk about it as we're looking at it, examining it. If it is something you're interested in, go ahead, throw a bid out there, even if it's $5, just so I know that we've got interest in that particular piece. After we get done with the description, we will put it on a timer. I have the timer right here in front of me on my phone. We will go 2 minutes. I will be watching the timer. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed. I will tell you when 1:30 has passed. When we hit that 1:30 mark, be thinking about your maximum bid and be ready to fire it off. Everybody has a delay based on what I see. Johnny Z says testing, testing. I don't know how long that took to get here, but we'll see. So everybody has a delay. Some people it's 5 seconds. Some people it's 20 seconds. Depends on your device and your service. Phone, laptop, PC, smart TV. All that stuff acts differently. The first few items, as always, I will announce all of the bids as I see them, even if it is not the high bidder, just so you guys can get an idea as to where you are at on your delay. At the end of 2 minutes, the high bid that I can see, we do end up with a lot of times where things are hung up in the system, and that happens. Technology is great. Technology can also be a pain in the butt. So that's why when I tell you there's 1:30 left, sometimes you just got to take a swing at it and throw your max bid up there and roll with it. So, and sometimes that works. Sometimes people can scare everybody off by doing that too. So, at the end of 2 minutes, I will announce the winner that I see on my screen on either Facebook or YouTube, depending on which format the bidder is at. So, just because you can't see a bid doesn't mean it may not be on the other format, as I'm watching both of them trying to keep up as we go through this. Check, money order, Western Union, PayPal, friends and family, any of those work. If you have any questions, my number is in the description part of this video. Just give me a shout tomorrow if you've got any questions. If you see something you want to bid on and you're still not sure how to do it, go ahead and throw a number out there and then call me tomorrow. We'll sort it out. It's not a big deal. We can always get it figured out. It's simple enough to do. So don't worry about it on that. Non-U.S. bidders, you're always welcome to play. However, you will have to figure out a way to get me paid, which is typically a wire, which is like $35 or $40 for a non-U.S. wire. as well as you will be responsible for out of the U.S. shipping. Everything tonight is going to include shipping in the 48 states. So it would just, if you're out of the U.S., then you would have additional shipping for the simple fact that this project kind of feeds itself. And if we ended up spending a small fortune shipping 2 or 3 boxes out of the U.S., then that would kind of affect the entire auction process for all the rest of the players. So please bear that in mind. And a lot of you guys wait 2 weeks to pay me. Not a problem at all. I perfectly understand that. So just kind of keep me posted as to where we're at, and we can make it all work for sure. Another Hudson badge to think about things. And like I said, as always, if you have any questions, just give me a shout after tomorrow, and we can sure get it figured out. No big deal. So anyway, let's get rolling tonight. Gold, yep. Do take gold. I'll take gold bars. Just ship them on over. Not a problem. And what do we have tonight to start with? Holy cow, I don't even know where to start. And that Brian says he gets a Canadian bank draft that costs $9, so that's fine. That would work as well if you wanted to send something like that, as long as it's drawn on a U.S. bank, so that I can cash it. So, all right, we'll start off with a couple little small things. We did a few of these a month or so ago, and they're really cute, and everybody really liked them. I got a couple more, so we'll throw a couple more of these out. And they're little like household oilers, little oil cans. They're super cute, super cool. And they're not super high dollar by any means, but there again, we want to try to start off with something a little bit cheaper, a little bit smaller, so everybody kind of gets a feel for where things are at. But these are super cool little oil cans. Hear them? Travis, 11. This has got kind of a bent spout on it. I think these were just a little dinky household type oiler. Screws on to fill it back up. Has the little bottom where you'll clicker bottom. And you're going to get a pair of them. There's the first one. Here's the second one. This is a little stubby one. Does the same thing, has the little push on the bottom. Also unscrews here from the top to put your oil in. To give you some perspective, the long one is about 5 inches all the way to the spout. And about 1 3/4 inches in diameter. Nut Farm at 12, Randy at 12. And the small one is about 2 5/8 tall and 1 3/4 inches in diameter. Kevin L at 15. So kind of some cute little deals. Let's get this thing on the timer. I'm going to make some notes. You're going to get both of them. Just kind of some cute little boogers. And I think you can still use them. Graham Hollywood used a cord body. Yes, they did actually use the cord. They bought the dies, and that was all cord based. All right, I got Kevin L at 15. Possibly for showing. I think these were, sewing machines. They were probably used for that, but I think these were probably anything household just because of the size. I mean, you can look at that against the palm of my hand. I mean, how tiny these things are. They're just cute little boogers. And 1 minute has passed. Kevin L at 15 on the pair. Alex at 21. And there's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30's passed. Alex at 21. Number one, found a couple of old oil cans in the garage. The tiny one's been up also. Must have been an option. Could have been. Could have been. Was probably used to specifically get into something, I am guessing. Just about done with this one, coming out of the wire with a few seconds left. Alex at 21. And that does it. Alex at 21. All right, great start. Let's do something for our Pontiac fans next. How about a cool little Pontiac cap? I think this is like an Astra or something because it looks like a Vega cap, but it's actually got the Pontiac logo in it. This thing is stainless, and it is about 7 inches in diameter. Alex is rolling on the Packer, got all the end speed out of it. That's cool. Leo started us off at 10 on this little Pontiac cap. The Pontiac is actually embossed in it. Chris at 11. I had Travis and Chris at 11 at the same time, but I had Chris first. You can see it is embossed in the back of it. It is a nice little size. It does have a very prominent Pontiac symbol on it. Like I said, about 7 inches in diameter, stainless steel, few dings and dents in it, but still has a nice original shine. Chris at 13. And let's get this thing boogieing on the timer on the little cap. Travis at 14. Chris at 15. Travis at 16, Chris at 17. Yes, it is definitely nice and shiny, that's for sure. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Chris at 17. Travis at 18. Chris at 19. Travis at 21. And there's the minute 30 mark. The minute 30 mark has passed. Chris at 22. Chris and Travis slugging it out on this Pontiac piece. Let's see what happens here. We got a little bit of time left, but not a lot. Chris at 22. Last few seconds. Anybody else going to jump back in? Tony at 26. And that does it. Tony slid that one in just perfect with just 3 or 4 seconds left to go. Michael at 24 came in just a hair late, but Tony had him covered at 26 over here anyway. So Tony at 26 on the super cool Pontiac cap. All right, we haven't done a license plate yet tonight. Let's squeeze in a license plate and get rolling with it. I've still got a few of these left in the envelope. However, they are not the correct envelope. We did a bunch of these where they were actually in the correct envelope. We've got a few up there that are going to the raffle. Outcast Projects made it tonight. So this one is in a Kansas envelope, but it is not the correct one. Tony didn't have that cap. Yeah, it's kind of a different one. I think it's Astor. so it looks like a Vega cap, but it's got the Pontiac stamped right in it, so it's pretty cool. This plate obviously is in great condition because I think they stuck it in. This is a 72 plate in a 73 envelope. So I think they stuck this thing in there. Travis, I don't even care. He's already started us off at 10. But it is a beautiful plate. It is in great shape. 1972 Kansas with a 3-digit 178. Holy cow, look at the reflection on that thing. Beautiful plate. Like I said, not the correct envelope. I'm out of, other than the few that Dad found a few, and that's what's in the raffle, and I've got a couple other ones, but this is out of that batch where I had several of them with the correct envelope. Those are gone. Chris at 11. That's right. Kenny said, I haven't seen Norman tonight. Maybe you guys got a chance. This is a standard size 12, basically 12-inch by 6-inch plate. Obviously, amazing, amazing finish on it. I really believe it's been in that envelope since 1973. We can actually see the flaws in the paint, the sags in the paint from when this thing was done. Travis at 12. Let's get this thing on the timer so we can give it the test. Oh, yeah, look at that. Plain as day. You can see the timer right there in that black original paint. Travis at 12. Yeah, that's right. Norman wasn't here last week either, so not sure what's going on there. As we go, we can see 20 seconds right there. Clear as day right there in the plate. Backside of this one obviously looks great as well on this 3-digit 1972 Kansas plate. Travis at 12. Tony said he got one this nice. Yeah, it's cool when they're, even if it's not the right envelope, you know it's been taken care of. 1 minute has passed. Alex at 22. RP was the county. This stood for the county that it was issued to. Alex at 22. Travis at 23. Sam didn't know the Ranchero was station wagon based. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that station wagon based. You figured it was, but boy, Jim made it real clear. It was strictly based right off the wagon. Minute 30's gone. Travis Howard at 23. As we hit the minute 30 marks, we're coming down towards the end on this one. A few seconds left. But we got a little bit of time left. Let's see if anybody's going to knock Travis out at 23. Alex at 25. Michael at 26. Just a few seconds left. I've got Michael at 26. And that does it. Michael at 26. Alex and Michael both took a shot at almost the exact same time. One on Facebook, one on YouTube. And Michael was $1 higher. All right, let's get a can slid in here. Not an extremely rare can, but this one is really pretty. The top's been cut out of it. There's an Auburn badge in case anybody's thirsty. I'm thirsty. The top's been cut out of this, but as you can see, this is an old school steel original metal can with great colors. Like I said, not extremely rare, but still a beautiful can. It is a regular quart can. Travis is at 10. He don't even care. I'm not sure if the El Camino tailgate was set up for a window or not. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. It's always fun doing videos with Jim because there's so much knowledge there, especially on that Ford stuff. But this is, like I said, not an extremely rare, but this can looks really great. The advanced custom-made Haviland Motor Oil Extra Heavy Duty. Look at the shine on the colors on that red, white, and blue. The big sparks around the advanced. We can see the seam on it right here where this is an actual steel quart. Like I said, the top's cut out, bottom is intact. The Texas company, made in the USA, unexcelled for automobile engines, bus engines, lift truck engines, tractor engines, industrial engines, and inboard marine engines. Chris at 11. Cleans as it lubricates, protects against wear and corrosion. All that detail is on the back of this can. It's got great color candy. Let's get this thing on the timer. I've got Chris at 11. Like I said, this is not a super rare $500 oil can, but it is a great looking can. There's no doubt about it. Travis at 13. We are live. We are boogieing on the timer on this piece as of right now. I've got Travis at 13. Outcast has a case of these in cardboard, or still in the cardboard box full. Yep, it's a good looking can, that's for sure. One minute has now passed. We have hit the 1 minute mark on the Haviland can. I've got Travis at 13. STP cans. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I almost grabbed one. I've got a few metal STP cans. I almost grabbed one tonight, and I didn't. But I can sure get one because I do have some old steel STP cans as well. Just past the minute 30 mark, so we're coming out of the wire on this one. Travis at 13. Alex at 16. A little bit of time left on this one. We're coming out of the wire. Alex at 16. Anybody else going to jump in? A great looking can for $16, that's for sure. Leo at 17. And that does it. Leo at 17. All right. Rolling it on great tonight and having a lot of fun. That's the whole purpose of it. Let's get another Auburn badge in there so we can think about that too. What do we got next? Well, since we just talked about, and this is not the auction piece, since we just talked about the Graham Brothers, I thought we would work in a Graham Brothers piece. Not this one. This is mine. But we do have a Graham Brothers grease cap that is an extra. The old school aluminum grease caps from the teens and the 20s. Great looking pieces. This one definitely has the GB very clear on it. Obviously lots of dings and dents around the outside perimeter, but definitely matches our GB for the Graham Brothers on this particular grease cap. So thought it'd be a good night to slide one of these in since we were just talking about Graham Brothers and their trucks. Randy at 10. From the Nut Farm, Alex at 25. We give the diameter on this thing. This one is about 3 inches by about 1 3/4 inches. About 3 inches across, 1 3/4 inches deep. This is threaded on the inside of the cap because these were a screw-on grease cap on the Graham Brothers grease cap from the probably late teens up through the mid-20s, somewhere in that era. Because by 29, I think is when they started branding them Dodge. So, or Green Bay. That's true. Alex at 25. Randall at 30. The Nut Farm. I love the Nut Farm. Such a great handle to go by. And actually, not only is it a great handle to go by, but Nut Farm is actually kind of fitting. I don't know why. It just kind of seems to fit for this group. Alex at 36. One minute has passed. Just past the 1 minute mark. Randall's actually a nut. Well, it kind of fits in here. As we hit the 1 minute 30 second point, 1 minute 30 seconds has passed. Bud wants to save up for some STP cans. We'll get some worked in here over the next few weeks. 20 seconds left to go. Alex at 36. Coming down to the wire, Alex at 36. Few seconds left. And that does it. Alex at 36. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to shake it up a bit. We did a couple of these, a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't know. You guys seem to like them, and Dad found one. So he's like, here, take this one and do that one. How about a Hudson badge? So let's go ahead and sell this other piece. Soda pop related. And, just like with everything we do on memorabilia, it's anything that has to do with cars. And the soda pop signs, memorabilia, the machines, everything related to it that had the soda pop name on them, that went right along with the gas station stuff, right along with cruising in your cars, all that stuff. So I always, I try to, soda pop, I kind of include in the memorabilia of what we're doing because it's anything related to doing with your cars. Like I said, I found a few of these a year or so ago. I think we sold 2 of them on here. You guys seem to like them. So when Dad found this one, he's like, hey, throw this one in the auction. I bet they'll dig this too. Travis is at 10. He don't even care what it is. This is an old wooden, so it's old because it's wooden, not plastic, 7-Up crate. Fresh Up with 7-Up. This is all wooden. This was slightly stamped in and painted. The bottler is on the end. Hayes, Kansas. Save Up bottles for Hayes, Kansas was the distributor on this particular one, if you guys can see that. Inside, it actually says 7-Up over here on the inside. It actually says it on both sides. It's more prominent on this side. Actually, 4 slots for 4 6-packs of bottles. This end is not as clear, and neither is this side. So it's got one end and one side that is very clear with the Fresh Up with 7-Up. Size on this. This item was a trivia answer. Which number? I'm sure you did get it, number 1. You smoked everybody on trivia. 18.5 inches tall. It is 18.5 inches tall. And about a foot wide. And 4.5 tall. So there we go. Travis at 10 on the 7-Up crate. Alex remembers them. Yeah, it's a neat piece. I mean, old school, actual wooden stuff. You could actually, they work well for display pieces, setting your stuff up in them for display. In fact, let's check this out. Let's take the can that Leo just won. Put your cans in them. All kinds of cool stuff. Metal straps on the ends to hold it together. I mean, definitely old school. So anyway, let's sell it. I got Travis at 10. Which I hope somebody else bids because it's probably going to cost 15 or 20 bucks to ship it. So let's go. We're on the timer. Travis at 10 on the 7-Up crate, the old school wooden 7-Up crate. Travis at 10. That's all we've got. Nobody else is too interested in this thing. I'm going to have to sit it like this because it's hard to hold. One minute has passed. Travis at 10 is the only bid. 1 minute has passed on the 7-Up crate. John at 15. Travis at 16. Michael at 18. I got Michael at 18 on Facebook as we hit the minute 30 mark. Michael at 18 is my high bidder. A little bit of time left, but we're getting down to the wire on this one. Michael at 21. John at 19. Michael at 21. Few seconds left. And that does it. Michael at 21. And Ryan and Amy came back at 25, just a few seconds too late. Michael at 21 is who we had at 200. Ryan and Amy just about 2 seconds too late on that one right after we sold it. We need to get some caps worked in here. Another pile of Addy caps tonight. This one, I'm not sure, 52, 53, 54 era. Something for our Ford fans. Good looking cap, typical dings and dents. Chrome plated, but very prominent Ford. Look at that thing. Nice shiny chrome. Ford stamped right in the middle of it. Original paint on the letters. Dings, dents, but shoot, this thing's 70 years old. Still presents well. We want to hang these things up in our shops and our man caves, and because they look cool. It is a dish type cap. Does kind of dome up to this. Good looking piece. Let me get my tape measure out here. We'll give you some dimensions on this thing. That's right, Michael. Sunglass time. 10 and a half, basically 10 and a half inches in diameter, which is pretty close to what most of these things are. Like I said, it does have a little bit of depth to us. Travis at 10, Chris at 10. We see a few whammos and things, but hey, that's because these things have a few battle scars on them. They're 70 years old, but it still looks cool. Travis and Chris going at it again. I've got Travis at 12 is my current high bidder. Let's get this thing on the timer. Big Job's already got this one hanging up. Travis at 12. Chris at 13. As we've hit the 1 minute mark, 1 minute has now passed. Minute 30 is now gone. Chris at 13. Minute 30 is gone. 20 seconds left. Chris at 13. Few seconds left. Chris at 13, just about done with this one. Travis at 15. Chris at 16, and that does it. Chris at 16, and that was right as the 159 went to 2, but Chris at 16 snuck it in. All right, let's do another interesting piece. We did one similar to this a while back, and these are really cool books. Tons of information in them, but they're so cool to check out. We've done one or two of them. I kind of keep my eyes peeled for them because they're so neat, and I know you guys like them. The 1961 Kindle Lubrication Service Guide. Big spiral-bound book. Fairly thick, probably half, 3/4 of an inch thick. Almost a half inch, about a half-inch thick. Decent sized book. Travis at 10. Now, if you guys remember, you can flip to any model in here, and it gives you all the specifications, where to grease, adjustments, things like that, when to do it. And it has it literally for, about, any American-made vehicle in that time frame. These were literally a service station book because that's right. Eloy got the last one. I think it was a different year. I don't remember what year it was, but it was a different year. But these things are neat. The Willys wagons. This one actually has foreign cars in it. Not that it really matters, but the blue section, there's the Opals, Morris. So just kind of pretty cool. International trucks, Studebaker trucks. And on the back, Kindle. More power, more protection. Refined at Bradford. 100% Pennsylvania oil permit number 3 on the back. So there it is, the 1961 Kindle Lubrication Guide. We are live on the timer. Travis at 10, Dennis at 12. Leo, 13. Johnny Z at 15. Kenny got one too. I think there was like 2 Kindles and 1 Sinclair or something. But I think Eloy got the other Kindle one. Johnny Z at 15. More fireworks and hearts. Always love that. Michael Brown's on with us. Glad Michael made it tonight. Travis at 16. Michael's probably out cruising around in his Oldsmobile and his Olds convertible. Travis at 16 on the Kindle Guide. Alex has one from 59. So we're taking along. We are past 1 minute. I missed that. Almost out cruising in the Olds. And there's the minute 30 mark. Johnny Z at 20. Few seconds left on this one. Johnny Z at 20. Kenny at 22. Leo at 21. Kenny at 22. And that does it. Kenny at 22. Johnny Z came back at 23, just a little bit too late. Michael Brown just got the brakes done on the 98 convertible. All right. Up next, something from our viewer box. Our Canadian viewer sent us several plates, and he wanted me to throw a few in the auction. I think that's what he wanted me to do. I think I remembered an email to throw a few in the auction on some Ontario plates. These I don't think are real old. They've got a 20 sticker on them. So these are probably not extremely rare, but they are kind of cool pieces. It is a matched set of Ontario plates. They are a pair BYSL 013 on this pair of Ontario plates. So something a little bit different in the collection. Chris had 5. These appear to be standard size plates, just like what we're used to, about 12 by 6, but we'll double check. Yes, these are 12 by 6 as well. You are going to get the pair. We're going to let them roll. Thanks to our viewer from Canada for donating to the raffle as well as the auction on this pair of Ontario plates. Chris is starting us off at 5, and let's roll. Alex at 10. Brian says his delay is bad. Yeah, everybody's going to fight that delay, so we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Brian, dispatch 25. 1 minute has now passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds is gone. Brian, dispatch at 25 with a few seconds left. Anybody going to knock him off there? Or are these going to be Brian's here in just a few seconds? Let's keep an eye on things. Michael Brown at 26. And that does it. Michael Brown snuck that one in at about 158. I don't know what his delay is, but he sure got it down pat to hit that one that close. Michael Brown at 26. That's a good shot. Hudson badge. All right. What's up next? Bid 20 seconds for it. Your bid popped up at about the minute 30 mark is when I saw it. And then it sat there till right at the end when Michael hit it at 26. Okay, we have something else really cool coming up. I don't think we got Studebaker parts tonight. But this piece is super cool anyway. More hearts, more fireworks. That's always great. Hudson badge. And we do all love badges. Zach is here. Zach is on with us. And what did you want to do with this stuff you sent in, Zach? Because I've got it all laying here. So you tell me what we want to do with the trunk handle, the emblem, and the license plate. We're going to auction it, raffle it. It's up to you. It's your call. It's whatever you want to do with it, Zach. But up next, we got a really great piece. We all love badges. There's no doubt about it. I'm one of the worst. I got a problem. My name is Chad, and I got a badge problem. But I do have some extra badges that Zach says auction it all off. All right. Sweet. We'll mix some of that in tonight too. The Nash, tonight's badge we're going to auction off is a Nash badge. Check this thing out. It does have some chipping. No Bison badges tonight, but this is a super great Nash badge. It does have some chipping, but it does still display very, very well. And that's what's important. You can still make out the Nash letters. You know, that's what you want to be able to see. None of these are perfect anymore. I mean, you know, for God's sakes, you think about how old these things are. This thing was used from 28 to 31. You know, so this thing is not quite 100 years old, but it's over 90 years old. So it's going to have some damage. It's got some chipping in here. It is still really pretty flat. Travis started us off at 20. Alex at 20. The mounting studs are gone off this. It does have a maker's mark on it. The H is missing most of its white, but the N, A, and the S still have a lot of the white in it. This scale area here was not ever enameled, just this, and then the Nash part. So these areas were never enameled anyway. Alex at 30 on the Nash badge. So there it is, the 1928 to 1930 era Nash badge. So at Michael at 15, Travis and Alex at 20, then Alex came back at 30 over here on YouTube. So there, let me give you the dimensions on this thing so you know what the size is. It is about 2 3/8 with the tips. All the way down here to the tip, all the way up here to the tip, about 2 3/8, and about 1.5 inches. So, all right, Brian restarted. Perfect. Good to go. Travis at 35 on the Nash badge, and let's boogie with this one. Alex at 45. Travis at 46. Ryan and Amy had to restart as well, so maybe refreshing and reboot. Alex at 51. Uh-oh, Leo just cocked the hammer back. I don't know what Leo's going to do, but Leo throws a click out there as we hit the 1 minute mark. That means he's loading something. I don't know what he's packing in there, but he might be loading a big slug or something. Alex at 51 on the Nash badge. Travis at 52. Minute and a half is gone. We just passed the minute and a half mark. 20 seconds left. Travis at 52. Few seconds left to go on the super cool Nash badge. Alex at 54 just barely snuck that in. Holy cow. Alex had zero room to wiggle on that, but as it hit 200, it popped up Alex at 54. There was no wiggle room there, but he got it snuck in. Perfect, Eloy. Sounds great. Appreciate that. Alex at 54. Wow, that was a bloodbath there, but that's what makes them fun, though. Man, there was no wiggle room on that one for Alex. Holy cow. But don't worry, Travis, we got a lot more cool stuff to come. In fact, what's next? Oh, in fact, the next piece on the list is super cool. This thing is really neat. I found this at Lawrence Swap Meet. I found a couple of them, so of course I'm keeping one, and I think I may have another one that we'll sell later on. Don't even know what it is. I think it's a wheel center. Maybe a center for a cap or maybe a center for a wheel. It's heavy. I know that. It's cool. It's chrome. It's enamel. It's metal. It's stud mounted. Let the bodies hit the floor, says Travis. So he's maybe gearing up. That's right. Alex is an addict. Well, you ain't seen this yet either, Alex, because this is right up your alley. I do not have a tilt column for a 64 Impala, Chris. Those are super tough. This thing is awesome. It's as big as my hand. It's a statement piece. Like I said, I think it's for a wheel or a hubcap. It's too heavy to be just a hubcap center. It would have had to have been on a wheel on this awesome Packard badge. Check this beast out. This thing is like it's like the size of my hand. Travis at 20, it is 5 inches in diameter. It is obviously stud mount. You see the studs there. It is tweaked a little bit. The red in the center is glossy. The red out here is not. So I don't know if there was something that's chipped off this outside perimeter. The chrome has a nice shine. This red in here has a glossy finish. Leo wants it on a necklace. Holy cow. It'd be like those rappers that wear the big chains or something. Wire wheels of the 30s car, says Alex. Chrome is very bright. Just this red area is not as bright as or glossy as the center area here. Alex at 50. So super cool piece. Let's get this thing rolling. Like I said, it is metal. You can see how it's all stamped on there. Travis at 51. I don't know what this thing weighs, but it's got some meat to it. Travis at 51 on the super cool Packard Center. And I'm just trying to stay organized to keep things flowing here as we're rolling along. Alex, 55. This thing would get old wearing it around your neck. Trust me, this thing it's got a little bit of bulk to it. And there's the minute 20 mark. And there's a minute 30 with Alex at 55. Few seconds left. He's going to knock Alex off at 55. Michael at 56. Zach at 57. And that does it. Zach at 57 at like 158 and change. Holy cow, Zach. That was a good shot. All right, what's next? We haven't done any toys yet tonight. Let's do a toy. There's our friction. Yes, a little Japanese tin truck. We looked at these on Toy Tuesday a month or two back. And we need to squeeze a toy in yet tonight. So check this cute little booger out. Little Japanese tin. It actually says made in Japan on the back of it. I'm guessing late 50s, early 60s. Basically not a lot of design to it, other than most of it is paint. There's a little bit of design on the nose. Travis at 20. The interior is painted in there. It doesn't really have an interior, but it is painted to simulate an interior, if you guys can see that. This thing is about 6.5 inches long and about 2 3/4 wide. It is missing the hubcaps on the rear axle on both sides, but has it on the front. It is friction drive on the front. That's true. I'd have to crush it. It does somewhat resemble a Cameo. That it does. The top is a separate piece that is pushed on. The front is a separate piece. Bottom of it, pretty basic. On the little Japanese tin toy truck. Travis at 20, and let's roll with it. John at 21. Cute little piece. John at 21. Coming right at you. That's right. Some kid really thought that would love playing with us. That's for sure. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, that fit in the 7-Up crate? I don't know. We'll find out. I think it would if you mounted the crate sideways. I think you'd have to mount it sideways. Minute 20. Minute 20 has passed. Just like that. $20 seconds left to go. John at 21. Travis at 23. Eloy at 22. I've got Travis at 23. Few seconds left. Bill Disc at 28. And that does it. Bill Disc at 28. John came back at 25. Bill Disc at 28 is who we had at the 2 minute mark. All right, let's do another cap. We need to squeeze another cap in here. Oh, Brian was trying to get the crate, but the delay got him. Let's do a Chevy cap, a Chevy dog dish mid-50s era with all the bow ties. I think we've done something similar to this in the past. But this one had a black band on it. I think we did one with a white band, but it does have all the bow ties stamped in it. This one looks really nice. Obviously, nice bright stainless on this thing. We can see all the bow ties, the remnants of the black paint still surround this thing. Few dingies in this, but really not very bad. Overall, this is really a pretty straight cap. This thing will really display well. Travis at 20, Big Job at 25, Chris at 21. Back of it's nice and clean. Big Job at 25, Travis at 30. This cap is right at 10.5, just like most of these are in diameter. Travis at 30 is my high bidder on the Chevy cap. It is domed. It does have a peak here in the middle. And let's get this thing on the timer with Travis at 30. So, yep, it is a straight piece. It looks good, displays good. Travis at 30. And coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute has now passed. I've got Travis at 30. Yep, all the bow ties around the edge. And this was black in here, if you guys can tell it. And there is remnants of the black paint. So this thing is just completely an old school original cap. Travis at 30. And there's the minute 30 mark. Zach at 40. Zach at 40. We got a little bit of time left on this one. We're getting down to the last few seconds. Zach at 40. Mid 50s, Chris. 55, 56, something like that. Zach at 40. And that does it. Whiskey Business, Zach at 40. And Michael at 45, just a few seconds too late. All right, next piece we got is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I got a couple of these. There's a couple of different styles. So we'll have a few more of these to work in over the coming weeks, but I've only got a few of them. Joe's Classics made it tonight. We've talked about, and we use, in fact, I use like right here. A piston to hold my pins. Great pin holders. Okay. So this piece I want to share with you is kind of similar to something like for that. But this is a little bit different. Got this from Doug Prey. We were looking around and he had a box and I said, are some of those 12 cylinder? And he goes, I think they are. He goes, I think these smaller ones are 12 cylinder. So I grabbed a few of them of a 12, what we believe, and Doug thought that's what these were, a piston out of a 12 cylinder Auburn. Now this is a smaller piston, but that's one thing about those big 12 cylinders. They had small pistons. Few stampings on this thing. I don't know if this is new or used. I think it's used. But these are small pistons. It's 3.5 high, but it's only 2 3/4 in diameter. So this is a smaller piece. Travis at 5. So like I said, we didn't check any numbers or anything, but Doug said, we dug through a couple boxes. Randall at 10. He said, I think these smaller ones. So I grabbed those couple of smaller ones. These are believed to be 12-cylinder, a 12-cylinder Auburn piston straight from Auburn Cord Duesenberg. So Travis at 12. Kind of a cool piece. Something a little bit different. Definitely something to put on your desk that nobody else is going to have. So 12-cylinder Auburn piston. Kenny at 14, about the same. Yeah. Zach says it's about the same size as the piston in his King Quad. What were those, a 500, Zach? 500 Suzuki. Travis at 15. Dennis at 18. So kind of a cool piece. Something a little bit different. 12-cylinder Auburn. It's a 300 cc. Of course, Auburn used 12 of them. You've only got one. So Kenny at 20. Alex at 22. Travis at 20. Alex at 22. And 1 minute has passed. Travis at 24. And there's the minute 30 mark. Travis at 24. Alex at 25. Few seconds left on this one. Anybody else going to sneak in another bid? Big Job at 27. Coming down to the wire, Pete at 30. Zach at 29, but Pete's 30 did it, and that wraps it up. Pete at 30. Zach came back at 31, but it was a little bit too late. Pete at 30. All right, let's do one of Zach's pieces. We'll get one tonight, Zach. I'll get the other two worked in next week. So I already had a lot of my lineup done tonight. So we will squeeze your other two pieces in next week. So, straight from Zach's viewer box. That's right, Pete just needs 11 more. The Bel Air cutout. Super cool patina piece. Sliced right out of the car. This is still intact. Mounting studs are everything there. I mean, you could clean this thing up and use it. But check out the look of this thing. Travis at 20, the way Zach, cut this. It's got the old paint, the old staining. Chris at 21. Yeah, is Zach going to bid on it? And we'll ship it just the way it is. I mean, you can actually drill a little hole here and a little hole there and just kind of display this thing just in its old and crusty, perfect patina look. Kind of a really neat piece. Travis at 23. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer. Thanks to Zach for donating to the auction. John at 30 is my high bidder. Chris at 31. Travis at 33. David W. at 33. This was a viewer box that Zach sent us some stuff he got off a car and wanted to donate it, throw it into the auction. So we looked at it on Toy Tuesday, and now we're throwing it into the auction. Chris at 35. John at 35. Travis at 40. Way to go, Zach. Everybody loves it. You did a great job of cutting this out. You had a good eye. You got just the right eye for the patina and the crustiness and still maintaining the integrity of the Bel Air emblem, because the Bel Air is a separate piece. This is the sheet metal out of the car. This is the Bel Air on it. John at 41. So everybody's digging this thing. Travis at 45. As we come up on the 1 minute mark, 1 minute has now passed. Like, you could take the emblem off and use it too, but the way this is cut, it just has such a great look to it. Travis at 45. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Zach said he's keeping the other one. So huge shout out to Zach for sharing this one with you guys. He's keeping the other one, sharing this one with you guys. 20 seconds left to go. Perfect, Joe. Sounds great. Travis at 45. We're coming down to the wire on this one. Pete at 50. Chris at 46, but I've got Pete at 50. And that does it. Pete's 50 covered Chris's 46 with the last few down at the last few seconds. So Chris came back at 51, but it was just too late. That's right. Going to be seeing a lot of old cars with holes in them now. So Pete at 50. Joe Mama 796 on eBay to check out Joe's stuff. More fireworks and hearts. Awesome, guys. Appreciate that. Let's do another cap. A couple more hubcaps, a couple more license plates, and a couple of little knick-knack things. We'll get things wrapped up. How about something for our Mopar fans? We haven't done anything for our Mopar fans yet tonight. on this cool Dodge cap. Dodge. Serrated edges all the way around. Dodge stamped right in it. Black paint in the edges and the Dodge. Travis starting us off at 12 on this piece. This is a stainless cap. It does really look pretty street. Nut Farm at 30. I love saying the Nut Farm when the Nut Farm bid's good. This cap is Travis at 34. It is 10 inches in diameter, just a hair smaller than some of the other ones we looked at. It does have a fairly decent dish to it, but we've got a few little dingies in it, but not very many. Overall, a pretty straight cap. Great looking piece for our Mopar fans. Travis at 34. We are live on the timer on this one. Ready to roll on the Dodge cap. Nut Farm at 35. I love saying that. The Nut Farm. I don't know why that's so funny, but it is. Okay. Travis at 37. And I haven't seen any comments on Facebook in quite a while. I hope you guys aren't trying to bid and we're hung up because I'm not seeing anything on Facebook. So Travis at 42. Nut Farm at 45 as 1 minute passes. All right, perfect, Michael. Just wanted to make sure. Appreciate it. Glad to know Facebook is still working because sometimes it don't. Nut Farm at 45. Nut Farm, Nut Farm, Nut Farm's bidding at 45. I don't know if it's just funny to say Nut Farm or it's just like really true for for me. So. As we hit the minute 30 mark, and that's a good point, Zach. We need to throw up a Hudson badge for you guys as well. We're just past the minute 30 mark. I have the Nut Farm at 45. Okay, we all agree it's true. Good call, Nut Farm. Few seconds left. Nut Farm at 45. We're coming down to the wire on this one. Not much time left down to the last few seconds. Keeping an eye on both formats. And that does it. Nut Farm at 45. One eye on ribs and one eye on the stream. It may have something to do with your account being registered in Canada, Brian, because I don't have shipping to Canada on my eBay, so that may have something to do with it. What's next? How about another oil can? We need to squeeze in another oil can. How about an Auburn badge? We're going to squeeze in another Auburn badge, too. This one, another old school metal quart. Old school steel. The top has been punched. It's been really punched. But still an intact can with great colors and great paint. On a super cool green and white Quaker State. Great colors. The green and white really pops on this one. A little bit different than an earlier one, I think, because it doesn't have the Q on it. You know, the big Q we're used to on Quaker State. Travis at 10. We do still see the metal seam back here where this was seamed together on a steel can. Chris at 11. My eBay site is just real simple. Nobody else's auto. That's my user ID is nobody else's auto. It has the little Quaker State seal down here in the bottom. Zach at 12. Quaker State Refining Corporation, Oil City, PA. Chris at 13. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer and keep boogieing. A little bit of info on the back of this one as well. Quaker State bar on each side of this one. Good looking can. Really is. Chris at 13. Travis at 15. Perfect. Zach's on my eBay site. So, of course, there's a ton of stuff on there. I've got over 1,500 pieces on there. So, Travis at 15 on the Quaker State can. Great looking can, great colors. No cool animals or anything, but still nice colors, nice green and white, nice shiny finish. Old school metal can. Dennis at 20. Chris at 16, but I've already got Dennis at 20. One minute has passed. We're past the 1 minute mark. Dennis had 20. Hearts and fireworks. Love that. Dennis at 20. And there is the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has now passed. Dennis at 20. We got a few seconds left. Anybody going to jump in here? Leo at 23. Still a great deal at $23. Few more seconds. Anybody going to jump in on Leo? Coming down to the wire. Zach at 24. Pete at 26. And that does it. Pete at 26. All those in the last 10 or 12 seconds, but Pete at 26 was who had it at the end. Little 7-Up crate's handy. I just start stacking everything inside of it. Couple more pieces to go yet tonight, and then we'll save the rest of the pile for next beat. Next, Pete won 3 bids at 26. Were all his at 26? That can was 26. The piston was at 30. Pete won the piston at 30, and the emblem at 50. So that was the only one he had at 26. Michael had something at 26. Michael Brown had one at 26. Michael Gagola had one at 26. So nope, not on Pete. We're going to do a freebie here in a little bit, Leo. We got one more freebie to go yet tonight. Let's see. What are we going to do? A couple more pieces yet on the auction. Let's do another little grease cap. This one I don't know. I think it's Chrysler, but I'm not sure. Check this thing out. You tell me what you guys think. It's got a big C on it. I'm saying Chrysler. Of course, it's got dings and dents, but it's probably 100 years old. Travis starting us off at 5. It is about 3 inches out here on the outside diameter. This is threaded on the inside like all of these are. It does kind of have a step down thing on it as it goes up to the top part. Obviously, the hex head on top to unscrew this thing. I think it's Chrysler, but that's just a guess. Nut Farm at 10. Chris at 6. Zach has some bumblebees, whatever that means. Leo at 20. Travis at 12. Let's get this thing rolling. Like I said, it's a cool cap. I'm guessing Chrysler. Justin at 11. Holy cow. Leo, Travis, and Justin, they're all bidding on it. But I've got Leo at 20. Justin at 21. I don't think it's Crosley. It's too early. Definitely too early for Corvair. And we got a couple more super cool pieces coming yet tonight. So it is a funky C, that's for sure. That's why I think it's something kind of fancy like Chrysler. 25, 26 Chrysler, 27 Chrysler. Nut Farm at 25. Old Englishish. Yeah, it is kind of old Englishish. Oh, freebies. Okay. As 1 minute has passed. Just past the 1 minute mark. Big Job says Communist China. Okay. 1 minute 20 has passed. Coming up on the minute 30 mark. I've got the Nut Farm at 25. Minute 30. There's the minute 30 mark. We're coming down to the wire. We got happy faces and hearts and all kinds of stuff going on. And a $25 bid from the Nut Farm on the Chrysler Cap. Kenny at 26. Justin at 26. I had Kenny first. Alex at 27. We got a few seconds left on this and a whole lot of action. Christy's on with us on Facebook. Travis at 30. Zach at 31, and that does it. Zach at 31 at about 158 and change. Zach at 31. Nut Farm came back at 30 as well, but I had Zach at 31 at the end. Cool piece. And the last two pieces I got set out for tonight are also really cool. Unless you guys demand more, but I got two really good pieces to go yet. Actually, this next one is going to be two pieces at once. Zach blows on his gun. Auburn badge. We haven't done any license plates in a little while yet tonight, but we're going to make up for that because these are awesome. 1974 plates. 3-digit, stunning condition. It's been on something because you can tell where the screws were, but not for very long. Look at that thing. 3-digit, 252. Look at the finish on this. Travis at 20. We're just getting started, Travis. Backside looks great as well. Number 252 with a V, stunning finish. We can see where the screws were at, but just barely. Beautiful piece. Justin at 15. But wait, there's more. That's right, there's more. It's like the OxyClean commercial or whatever. But wait, there's more. Because not only do we have number 252, we also have number 253 to go with it. Now, it's not quite as good. The shine is great. We can still see the shine, but this does have some paint loss on it where the paint has chipped off on 253. Back of it also looks great. So you're getting the pair. Some of these I just kind of, I mean, they're nice enough they should be sold individually, but they've been together for 48 years, side by side, 252 and 253. That has the Abbott. Norma isn't on. We haven't seen her yet tonight. Of course, if she's on, this will probably bring her out. You can see the reflection in these things. The pair of them, you're going to get the pair of them. I think they should stay together. That's right, Ginsu knives. So that's how we're selling them because I want them to stay together. I want these to hang on one of your guys' walls. Consecutive numbers. They've been together for 48 years. They should stay together at this point. Alex at 30 on the pair. Let's get them on the timer. You're getting both of them. Like I said, guys, we still have some cool stuff coming up. Excited about these pieces right here. 252, 253, 1974 plates, orange, white letters, and amazing shine on these. You just catch the glimpse of those. I don't know if we can see the. I don't know if we ever can we see the orange in these. See the time? Yeah, there we go. We can even see the timer in the orange. Justin at 31 as we hit 30 seconds. Justin at 31, you are going to get both of them so they stay together. Michael at 33. That's right, Scott. This is Billy Mays. But wait, there's more. And there's the 1 minute mark. And I've got Michael at 33 on Facebook on the pair. That's right, you're getting both of them. No, they are both the same color. They are both orange, white letter, 1974 Kansas plates, 252, 253. It's just the angle if they look darker. They're identical, basically, you're sitting here looking at them. Michael at 33. And there's the 1 minute, 30 second mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Michael at 33. Super cool pieces. Alex at 40. Alex at 40, few seconds left. Travis at 45. Few more seconds. Travis at 45. Anybody going to jump in here right at the end as we're coming down to the wire on this one? And no, that does it. Travis at 45 on the pair. That's right. You'll get the second one for free. That's right, Nut Farm. Travis at 45. And let's catch one more auction piece. Save the coolest hubcap for last. Old school 40s era. It is stainless Ford V8. Check out the V8 on that thing. The hat or the kind of the rippled V overlaying the 8. It is stainless. It does need polished. It does have dings and dents. Of course, it's 80-some years old. Travis at 14 kicking us off on this one. Back of it still looks pretty good. You can see where the ridges and the V8 was all embossed. On the super cool old school V8 cap. Kenny at 20. Let's get this thing rolling on the timer while I give you the dimensions on it. It's about 9.5 on the outside diameter here. About 9.5. Travis at 22. Big Job's got 3 of them. I guess this would make 4, wouldn't it? But a cool looking cap. Travis at 22. We are live on the timer on this thing, rolling along. Travis at 22. Yeah, I can do a nice new side gig. I can do infomercials. Kenny at 23. I still can't believe I didn't think of the you get the second one for only shipping and handling. I missed that one, but I think the Nut Farm got that one for me. 1 minute has passed. Travis at 24 on the V8, old school V8 cap. Alan's here with us. Travis at 24, minute 20 gone on this one. Kenny at 25. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds is gone. Kenny at 25 as this one's winding down. 13 license plates for a penny. That's right, Joe. Zach at 27. Kenny at 28. Few seconds left. Just about done with this one. Kenny at 28. And that does it. Kenny at 28. All right, that's everything I had laid out on the desk. I still got piles down here, but I guess we'll do some of that next week. We got the other piece that Zach sent us that we'll do next week. I don't know if I got anything else that says Bel Air in here or not. I'll have to see if I can round some more stuff up. But great auction as always. We had a ton of fun tonight. We had a lot of cool stuff. Hope you guys had enjoy it. Check in the mail with extra. Also, awesome, Leo. Appreciate it. Hudson badge, Auburn badge. We all need a few badges after that round of auctions, and it was a ton of fun. Zach says if the people want more, do more. Well, that's up to you guys. If we want to do 1 or 2 more pieces, we will squeeze them in. If not, we will move on to the Who Got Into the Raffle as well as the magazine. Chris says more. What do we want to do more of? Should we do one more of Zach's pieces? We can do one more of Zach's piece. We can do Zach's trunk handle. It's laying right here. Let's do that. And Well, we'll do this other piece that Zach sent us, and then we'll go from there. This is the trunk handle that Zach sent us off the 53 Chevy. Pitted up, but it does still have the emblem in it. It does still say Power Glide on it. Justin at 16. This is kind of a big piece. This is a bonus piece. I hadn't even planned on this. You guys said you wanted another one, so we're throwing it up there. This is donated by Zach, Whiskey Business. This is 19¼ inches long. Another crate. I don't have another crate, Brian. I can't do that. That's right, Bill Disc. It definitely right now it is, but wait, there's more. 3 3/8, 19 inches long. Justin at 16 on the Bel Air trunk handle. It is pretty pitted up. It is kind of a display piece, but I mean, you can do a lot with this. This is literally a trunk handle. It has places to grab it. I mean, you could put it on like a drawer or so use it for a handle somewhere. It is stud mount. It is fairly flat. There is some options for it. It is kind of neat. So donated by Zach. So we'll go ahead and throw this one up there and then see what happens. Let's get it on the timer and let's go with it. I got Justin at 16. Chris at 17. Anti-slip door pull, that's right. So huge shout out to Zach for donating these tonight. And I've got Chris at 17. We are live and on the timer. We got hearts and happy faces and fireworks, which is always cool. Travis at 19. So, yeah, that's what I figured. It came off the same piece as the Bel Air emblem. The same car that the Bel Air emblem came off of is where this came from. As we hit the 1 minute mark, 1 minute is gone. I've got Travis at 19. Minute 20 is gone. And there's the minute 30 mark. I've got Travis at 19. Sniper fire. That's right, big job. We're coming down to the wire. We've got a few seconds left. We've got actually about 20 seconds left, so let's see what happens. I've got Travis at 19. Bonus piece. Lots of hearts, lots of happy faces, and some fireworks. And Travis at 19 as we're coming down to the wire. Michael at 22 on Facebook. I've got Michael at 22. Leo at 23, and that does it. Leo at 23 is who we had at the 2 minute mark. All right, a ton of fun. Need another Auburn badge. Okay, let's get on to the raffle and the magazine. Awesome. Perfect, Randall. I'll get all that stuff out of here tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see how things go as far as packaging tomorrow. But, I'm going to try to get everything boogie in and out of here. I'll probably drop some tomorrow and Tuesday. We'll see how things shake out. But like I told you guys, we're going to shake things up tonight a little bit. Let's talk about who is into the raffle. Then let's get into a different type of magazine for tonight. But you guys, that's right, Travis. We're going to get into it right now. Who is in the Big Buick oil can as of right now? Sounds great, Brian. Glad you made it this long. I know you're 2 hours ahead of us, Brian. You're so far east, but I'm glad you hung out with us most of the night tonight, and we'll definitely catch you Tuesday night. But who's in as of right now? Several names in the Big Buick oil can right out of the gate this month. Awesome raffle. Kevin L's got to jump off early. Glad you got on for a while and hope you're feeling better. But this month, the 3 California plates, 1922, 1923, 1928, all original paint plates from California. That is one group. The other group is going to be this pair of new old stock in the envelope 1969 plates, and these do match. Dad found a small handful of these. Envelope 3704, plate 3704. So these two will be going together. And the third prize this month will be the new old stock sample plate from 1972. So this will be one. So those are going to be the choices. As the names come out of the hat, this group, that group, or the sample plate. Obviously, I would imagine the California plates being from the 20s and being 100 years old are probably going to be pretty popular. But it's a great raffle. I'm super excited about it. We have not done a really, really good plate raffle like this. We've had plates mixed into the raffle, but just to really do just a super killer plate raffle, this is it. Those are going to be the choices for the names out of the can here in about a month at the first part of July. So who's in the first month or the first week? Kenny Peterson, Johnny Z, Steel Ponies, Jeff, Leo, Justin, Travis, all you guys are in there from your last payments. Raffle will be July 2nd, I believe was the date we chose, July 2nd. We run these for a month, so Zach Thompson is in. Tony Napoli is in, as well as the Nut Farm. Randy is in. So that's who is all in the first week of the new raffle. So that's right. And the Zach stickers. I just had those here. Where did I sit them? They were literally just here, Zach. What did I do with them? I put them in here to make sure I had them with the raffle. Still in your envelope. I don't know where I put the envelope. Oh, I'll find it. It didn't go too far because it was literally just here. So that's right. You're going to get Zach stickers with the plates. No problem, Zach. They're here. I know they're here. You want to throw your plate into the raffle, Zach? Do you want to do that, or do you want to auction it? You tell me that. We can throw that in as well for the raffle. Give you a Hudson badge, though. As we get ready to get into tonight's magazine. And it's a little bit different. Like I said, we're going to put a little bit of a twist to the magazine thing tonight. Now, you guys all know that whatever we think, okay, it's totally up to you guys, whatever you think. We can throw it in and have a fourth name come out of the can, or we can auction it. So it's totally up to you. But that's who is in. All those names are in the Big Buick oil can as of right now. We will do one more bonus drawing a little bit later tonight. And there's a reason we're going to do it here towards the end. So I've got it. There's some method to my madness as to why we're doing this at the end. We will do one more bonus drawing yet tonight. Those names are in here right now in the Big Buick oil can, ready for this month's raffle. So what are we going to do for a magazine that's a little bit different to kind of shake things up a little bit? Well, we've all looked at a lot of magazines from the 50s and 60s over the last few years. There is one constant in every single one of those magazines. Who can guess what is in every magazine? No, we haven't had any Playboys, so what's in every single magazine we look at from the 50s and 60s? All the time, they're in every one, sometimes big, sometimes small, but they are in there somewhere. No, not Ford. Ford is in most of them in one way or the other, whether it be at a road test or an ad or something. But what's in every single one of them, even if they didn't have a Ford or a Chevy or something in that issue? Customs, ads. Got some good guesses. And Big Job got it. That's right. J.C. Whitney. They're in every one of them. J.C. Whitney is in every one of them. So tonight, I thought, what the heck? Let's look at a J.C. Whitney catalog from 1967. Let's see what they actually have in the full catalog. We've seen thousands of opportunities to order a catalog, let's check out a J.C. Whitney catalog. Pete likes the idea, so save on the world's largest and most complete line of automotive accessories and parts for all makes, years, and models, all cars and trucks. Says right here, custom cars, hot rods, station wagons, trucks, imports, classics, all cars. So this catalog, 50 cents, copyright 1967. So let's see what it's got to show in here. And we're just going to grab some random pages and just check this thing out because it's a big catalog. There's a lot in here. We're used to looking at a one-page ad. This catalog is 200. Well, that page is about 225 pages. And literally, it is just stuff everywhere. Now, to start off with, before we really get into the product, let's flip to the middle, because in the middle is where we have our order blank. Yes, this still has the order blank right in it. You filled it out, taped it over, sent it in. It's got the catalog stickers in it. Inside the front cover, a little bit of color, but very little. And just all kinds of cool stuff, from record players to shaggy rear deck mats. I mean, just a little bit of everything. So let's flip through this and see if it's a little more organized than some of the other ones. And I'm just grabbing random pages, so. And really, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of rhyme or reason to any of these either, because as we flip a few pages forward here, we just see all kinds of different stuff all over. Lenses here, camshafts here. Here's a cool ad. Stainless steel tubular type custom grills. We see a lot of those in their small ads. Full page layout in here. Upholstery. Those magazines kept a lot of kids out of trouble sitting with your buddies dreaming. Yep. Jeff's going to jump off. Glad you were here tonight, Jeff. Something that was a pretty big deal in 1967, aftermarket wheels. Just really starting to get popular. Oh, yeah, radios. FM car radios, all transistor radios, four-way portable AM, FM radios. Oh, yeah, sound systems. Prices, yeah, let's catch a few prices here as we go through. Good idea, Chris. Let's see. The solid state AM radio with a built-in reverb was $44.95. That was a ton of money, really. If you're making 75 cents or $1 an hour, part-time job, $45 for a radio, that was a lot of money. Record player for all cars with radios, $51.95. CBs, Let's see. CBs weren't really coming into play yet in 67, but let's see if they had anything in here. So far, this is 4-track and 8-track. Who remembers 4-track? I remember 8-track. I don't think we're going to see any CD players in here, Chris, but we do have 4-track and 8-track. Gauges, tax. Shoot, they even carried hard parts. Transmissions for Willys and Jeeps. Overdrives. You can order a rebuilt transmission for your Jeep from anywhere from $115 to $185. Exhaust. You can order whole exhaust systems. They had applications for all this stuff, a whole application chart to order all this stuff. Yep, they made 4-track and 8-track back then, Zach. Scott says on Facebook, 4-track only had 2 channels. Oh, yeah, safety equipment, helmets, goggles. Deluxe approved crash helmet, $18.95. Men's and ladies leather driving gloves, $8.95. Check this stuff out. I bet there's suicide knobs in here somewhere. Pete, first thing he ever bought was a set of door edge guards from J.C. Whitney in 1985. Carburetors, manifolds. Oh, yeah, this was big time here. Adapter kits. Transmission to engine adapters. Made it fit with an adapter kit, right? Wasn't that one piece at a time with an adapter kit? Let's see. Man, they had all kinds of stuff in here. Adapt these engines to these transmissions, okay? These engines to these transmissions. So let's look at a couple of examples on what this thing had. All kinds of weird stuff here. You could adapt. Holy cow. They had an adapter. This is wild. You could get an adapter kit for a, let's see, Studebaker V8, and you could get an adapter kit to put that behind a Cadillac's transmission, a Chevrolet transmission. Holy cow, this was pretty wild stuff, the way they had this set up. And obviously you can spend a ton of time with this. Any VW wheels? I don't know. I'd have to go back to the wheel section. But all these charts of all these adaptive kits to swap these engine and trannies. Curb feelers. I bet there's curb feelers in here as well. That's right, Kenny, the man in black, one piece at a time. This is probably where he got his adaptive kit at to put that Cadillac together. Got the JC Whitney catalog out. I don't know if it was the engine of 53 and the transmission of 73 or something, what they say. So, that's right, John, where Johnny Cash wins. So, does it give a month when it was published? It doesn't. It just says copyright 67. So, this could have been used in 67 or up into 68. You know, who knows? Motor mounts, adjustable changeover motor mounts, more adaptive kits, bell housing shields. They had it all. Top quality performance proven racing tires. Oh, and the mandatory shoe-shaped gas pedal. Oh, yeah, right there. Has to look like a shoe. Tires, custom shift knobs. Getting caught meant getting fired. That's right. That is still a great song, though. Convertible tops. Number one is looking for some four-spoke Astro Supremes for a Volkswagen. Can't help you there. Maybe somebody else out there knows where there's some at. Okay, I didn't know that this was really a super important accessory that was mandatory, but you could order a winking animal to signal cars behind you. Flashing red eyes warn cars behind you when you stop. Signal a left or right turn. Okay, I have not seen these. I didn't know they made these, but you could order winking animals that you could wire into your lights. Zach just fired up the grill for a late night snack. Gonna jump off. Well, glad you were here tonight. Appreciate the donations to the auction or to the auctions tonight. Big John Farmer was looking for stuff they wanted to build their own Big Ollie Bronco. Nut Farmer's Western Auto, yep. So I didn't know that was a really important accessory, but apparently it was at the time. Seats, seat covers, all kinds of seat covers, even cheetah seat covers. Yes, you could even get the cheetah style seat covers. And as a matter of fact, I tell you what, let's take a break since we've got a few people who need to get off. Let's go ahead and do those bonus drawings. I told Leo and everybody we were going to slide a bonus drawing or two in yet tonight. Let's get that done real quick. Let's take a break from the JC Whitney catalog here for just a second. And let's grab the El Rico Fleet Can. And let's reach in here and grab a surprise out of here for the freebie drawing and see what we got. And this is what we've got. And who gets it? So we'll get this squeezed in right now since we've got some people jumping off that need to get to bed. Let's get this freebie out of the way. Zach. So let's see what we got for Zach in the freebie tonight. Oh, these are kind of cool. Little plastic Ford, like a 57 Ford cop car. And these are old school, like 50s pieces. On the bonus drawings, this one's going to Zach. They could have been. I'm not sure, but they sure could have been a cereal box deal. So we'll tuck that back away. Got Zach's name right there on it. We'll put it over here without the ship. And not only that, right back in for the big drawing. Does it say Poster Kellogg's? I don't think it does. Made in the USA, but I can't make out the other little stamping on it, so. Didn't want to forget to squeeze that in because I kept telling Leo we were going to do it, so had to get that thrown in there before everybody got off tonight. Let's keep working our way through the J.C. Whitney catalog. Carpet sets to go with your new seat covers. Oh, here we go. Here's the mandatory foot-shaped accelerator pedal. You weren't cool unless you had that. Check that out. You had to have that piece right there. And if you really wanted to splurge, you got the one for your dimmer switch as well. Yeah, who remembers back when your dimmer switch was on the floor? Cruise control. Adjust to any speed. Yep. Basically kind of almost a throttle lock, but cruise controls. Big Job has both feet. The dimmer switch and the gas pedal. Holy cow. Check out the wheel cover section. We talk about wheel covers a lot on here, especially, with my good buddy Robert, who is the hubcap guru. Check out what you could order for wheel covers from J.C. Whitney in the late 60s. We'll take a minute to gander this one. Holy cow, there's a lot of cool stuff on those pages. And something else we've talked about a lot, hubcap accessories where you could order your own flippers or your own bars and add to your hubcaps. Because remember, aftermarket wheels had just starting to get popular. A lot of guys were still running hubcaps. Number one, I tell you what, I got bored with Walking Dead Zombies TV show in 2 seasons, but this will be year 4, and I'm dying for the next episode. Well, I'm glad you're still hanging out with us. Number one, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'm glad that we're having fun, and I hope I'm putting out a good product that you guys like. So, Joe's, I got a 51 with a floor dimmer, getting my foot stuck in the steering column. Yeah, get your foot stuck in the steering column. That would be tricky on your Denali. But boat and bike stuff, I don't know, Nut Farm, we're going to get there and see. But we've got, we're getting closer to possibly curb feelers because we've got mud flaps, including the vinyl full width mud flaps for station wagons and pickup trucks. Number one does miss trivia, yeah. And I'm sure you do. It's just trivia was a lot of work for no more than what it amounted to. But check out the full-length mud flaps for station wagons. Lighted lug nuts. I don't know if they had lighted ones. Continental kits. I bet they got Continental kits in here. Oh, wow. Check this out. This is cool. Popular nameplates and insignias. Hood ornaments. Holy cow. Some of these were actually, I didn't even realize how realistic some of this stuff actually was that you could order. Check this stuff out. I didn't know they had stuff that was this close to OE. Look at the Ford badges, the Chevy rally flags, even the 421, the 326 for Pontiac, SS's, GTOs, the 6-liter, the 7-liter, the 428, the 427. Look at all these Ford emblems. All this stuff was available. Pete says everybody put together a trivia question for me. I don't know how well that would work. I'm not that smart sometimes. We could try it if you guys want to throw a trivia question at me, but I don't know if it would do any good. Mac Dog, yep, they had it all. I cannot believe, and all these. Look at all these hood ornaments. Lincoln, Ram. I mean, they had. I can't believe how I didn't realize that some of this stuff was this close to OE. No, no, it's not the Notre Dame football coach, number one. And like I said, we could spend a month with this catalog. So where I'm just kind of trying to catch the high spots. Tools. They had tools, jacks, hand tools. Oh, you guys do it so you can have the segment again. More tools. You can order power tools, hand tools. Auto body. hood scoops, rocker panels, as well as fiberglass kits. We talked a lot about fiberglass. Perfect, Kenny. Appreciate it. Glad you hung out for most of the night. And this is interesting. I didn't realize they did this. The next section is by vehicle. This is pretty cool too. Okay. Whole different animal. Holy cow, we could actually break the magazine and do this next week because there's a whole section on it, but we'll probably, I don't know, maybe we should just hold off because there's a lot of cool stuff coming up and it's a whole different segment. I think we're going to split this up because this next section, to do it right, if not, we're just going to flip through it. We're really not going to get it. But let's check out some of the stuff, the other stuff in this first half. And we're going to back this off and finish it up next week. Check these out. Missile lights. Check out the missile lights. See the 57 Chevy where they got it mounted on top of the rear quarter? I don't know if you can still get an actual catalog or not. But we're going to check out a few more things, and then we're going to do the back half of this magazine next week, or this catalog next week. And I'll show you why when we get to it, because it's going to be pretty cool. So we'll check out a few more accessories that they had available in the other part of this catalog. But I didn't realize that this back half of this was going to get into a whole different animal of things that were really cool in and of itself. So there's just so much great stuff in here. It's just really difficult to catch it all. So I want to catch a few more things that I want to point out, and then we're going to save the rest of this catalog for next week because we're going to need to spend a little time with it to make sure we get all the cool stuff. And once again, this is also the weird part about it. They actually had a regular order form. They had the pull-out order form, but behind that, they had a regular order form as well. Frank says J.C. Whitney is no more. Okay. We still haven't found the curb feelers, though. I wonder if there's a glossary or an index. Let's find the curb feelers. Got to be something in here. Because this stuff is all over the board in here, so... You could get your repair manuals in here as well. Hudson badge. Holy cow, look at this. This is something kind of different. Now, for 1960 through 1966 cars, the safety dual brake system. Your car should have had it originally. The dual chambered master cylinder. You know, it's kind of crazy to think about. Back then, cars only had one basic chamber in the master cylinder. You could actually order an upgrade kit from J.C. Whitney for a dual chamber master cylinder. That's the kind of wild stuff that's in here. So, like I said, guys, we could spend hours on this thing, and that's why I'm going to save the back half until next week. I don't know if they had deer whistles back in the 60s or not. If they did, I'm sure they're in here somewhere. Let's see. Here's the sections. Let's see what we got. They don't list curb feelers specifically here in the index. So they probably have them categorized under accessories or something. Catalog no longer available, but still online. Personal luxury cars, people put them on in the 70s. Bill, this got a call tonight. Glad you were here, Bill. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up also. That's why I wanted to go ahead and save the back half of this catalog till next week. Because I know we've all got stuff to do tomorrow, and we all need to get things wound down. But here is the index section. So you could find stuff in here. And just like I said, so much cool stuff. Just not enough time to actually show you guys everything. But don't worry, we'll get into some more of it next week. He said he would definitely need his readers. And we'll get ready to go ahead and wrap this thing up tonight. We're coming up right on that 3-hour mark, and that is more than enough of me, I am sure, for all you guys for one evening. I do appreciate you guys that do stick it out. You ride all the way through here and hang in till the end. But with that, we're going to go ahead and wind down, save the back half of this super cool catalog for next week, because checking out what's coming up, we just need to take a few minutes to do it. If not, we're just going to be flipping through pages and we're not going to see anything anyway. So it may not take as long next week to finish it up, but I want to do it right because there's so much cool stuff in here. So there we have it, the first part of the J.C. Whitney Automotive Accessories and Parts from the 1967 catalog. So what else is coming up this week? Obviously, we're going to have Toy Tuesday, live Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We do have another viewer box. We'll get that viewer box knocked out because I've got all kinds of stuff that we haven't even gotten to yet. Several signs, lots of toys that we need to be getting squeezed into some Toy Tuesdays as well. So Tuesday night, we will have a viewer box. Tomorrow night, I'll get the other Mecum video up where Jim Wicks and I just walked around, checked out some cars. Super cool Torino that Jim, once again, Jim shared a little Ford wisdom with us on. Some super station wagons. A lot of cool stuff there. So 4-spoke Supremes or Krager's 4x130 millimeter finder's fee for number 1. Thanks, Nut Farm. Appreciate it. Scott says, great show. I appreciate all the support and everybody that does hang out here and all the compliments of you guys coming in here and making this what it is. I'm the one that gets to sit here in front of the computer, but if you guys weren't here, it would be pretty boring. So I do appreciate your guys' support in making this what it is. We'll get that Mecum video up. We will do Toy Tuesday live with another viewer box from our friend in Canada. We'll see what's in there. We've got a whole slew of new Auburn Cord Duesenberg videos. We've got a ton of new inventory we haven't shared with you. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And I may go do some digging on that other batch I bought last week. We'll see if we can get some of that stuff hauled in because it's pretty cool stuff, especially if you're a Ford fan. So more Ford Falcons with Mr. Wicks. Check for the wheels in the magazine. Yeah, see if we can order them in there. But anyway, with that, Michael Lagola appreciates it. Yep, crazy number 167, episode number 167. And that's all thanks to you guys and your support. Let your friends know what we're doing. Jump on with us, hang out, get your chances in for the raffle. We've got a few weeks, but it's a super cool raffle. We all love license plates. They're super easy to display, and they always look great. So we want to get that. I've not heard from Mark Falcon. I thought he may try to get on tonight. He said he was recovering, but slowly. But I thought he may be on tonight, but apparently he didn't make it with us tonight. So hopefully he will be back for Toy Tuesday and then back next week regularly for sure. So anyway, with that, I think we'll go ahead and call this one a night. And wrap it up. As always, I appreciate you guys being here and your support. in the auctions, the raffles, the participation, and sharing your knowledge with everyone else. You guys make this what it is. If it wasn't, it would be dumb me sitting here in front of a webcam. Without all this knowledge and participation of all you guys, it wouldn't be much of a chat. But we all work together, we all share together, and that's what makes it fun. We'll see y'all live 7 o'clock Tuesday night for some Toy Tuesday. We'll dig into that viewer box and see what we've got in there. And we will definitely plan on seeing you all right back here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock, same bat time, same bat station, for more Sunday night live chat on cool old cars and memorabilia. Thanks for being here, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.